Hi everybody, Joe White here. I am back in the truck after having some time off. Did some podcasting, made some videos. Um, we mm, I didn't think mm, I didn't think this was going to be that difficult. You know, I often criticize the British wrestling fans. I did just last night, as a matter of fact, for the way they act during wrestling events, but I've always had a deep respect for the British people overall. Um, London is always has been on the top of my bucket list for places I want to travel to before I die. I want to go eat proper fish and chips. I want to go eat toad in the hole. I want to go get, I'm infatuated with British food, British culture. Um, and part of that British culture is the monarchy. Um, I remember uh, I can remember crying when Princess Diana died in '97. I was only 12 years old. And I remember seeing the British soldiers carrying her casket and openly weeping while doing so. I can remember when the first royal grandchildren were born, and the watching the BBC news coverage of that, and when the guy dressed as he wasn't the official town crier, but a guy dressed as a town crier. I remember watching it with Rick Hendrickson. May he rest in peace. Um, and we were watching the news together online. He goes, "Oh shit, White! Here comes the town crier." I can remember when the Queen Mother died. I was sad about that. I can remember the last few weeks or couple of months watching the drama unfold every day. I was more infatuated. I've been more infatuated the last couple of months with British politics than I have American politics. I could give two crap about American politics because American politics is broken. Our entire political system is broken. I'd much rather go to a parliamentary style government like the UK has, honestly. Um, but anyway, there's a lot of British people watching this going, that system's broken as well. I get you. I get it. I hear you. But I've always been infatuated with the royal family. Um, the movie based on that one week during Princess Diana's death called The Queen, starring Helen Mirren. You can argue the facts of it and how historically accurate it is, blah blah blah, but it's a good movie. And to think that that woman stood steadfast up until probably the day before her funeral, where she finally broke down and said, "Okay, I'll go down to London and be amongst my people and mourn with them." Even though that woman was not an HRH anymore, she was not a member of the royal family anymore. Um, Shows a lot of character. You know, this woman was a mechanic during World War II. This woman served her country, served the world during World War II. She was a realist. She was a person, a woman who kept up with the times and technology, so I got to respect her for that. And now we've lost her. That's some heavy stuff. To think that a woman, we have, and granted, people say, oh, the queen doesn't have much power. She has more power than you think. She's still a monarch and a sovereign. She could take that parliament and dissolve it. She did it to Australia. So, or not, maybe not her, but the when Australia, couldn't get their shit together, the monarchy stepped in over in England and said, you know what, forget it. We'll govern you if you can't govern yourselves. The people think it's just a figurehead position. It's not. She could sit there and restructure. It is the Queen's, or well, now was. It's the King's government now. Golly, it sounds so weird to say. That sounds so flipping weird to say. Because you hear, I studied kings in high school and in world history, kings, and now we have a queen. The BBC and Sky News and everybody brung up the fact that if you're under 70 years old and under, you don't know anybody else having the throne in England but Elizabeth II. And to think what this woman has lived through, I have so much respect. My thoughts are with the British people this evening. I hope that King Charles III can make good decisions and be as dedicated to I won't say the job, the honor of being on that throne as his mother was. I look at somebody like that, and that's a strong woman. We live in the days of wokeness, and all the women got to be strong. It's probably the strongest woman that ever lived right there, when you downright think about it. All the crap she had to endure. And she stood steadfast and in service of her people. She lived up to her vow until the minute she died. Just 2 days ago, the woman was on her feet swearing in the new prime minister up there in Balmoral in Scotland. So again, my thoughts are with you guys over in the UK. And God save the Queen. God save the new king. We'll see you down the road.